Alright, it is 9:22 a.m. and the watch list I think is a little smaller. NLST, I will be watching this for any kind of morning panic bounce play. LCLP, I will not trade this anymore. It has not been profitable. On top of that, to be honest, maybe it hasn't been working out. The morning panic bounce plays this nicely because of the fact that it never really had like 3 strong green days, at least 3 green days in a row. This has not been the case at all. Maybe that I should have realized that sooner, and that would have been better for me. I will be watching this if it does any kind of spike, maybe something past 4, but I will not be considering this for morning panic bounce plays. Neither will I consider DPLS because it doesn't trade with much range. It just doesn't. It did show a move yesterday, and it's kind of sad when you consider the fact that really when it got to VWAP, I mean, best case maybe just under 10%. If you want to include the thing right here, okay, so 11, to 8, I just don't think it's really that worth it. Maybe I'm being a little too greedy, but just counting VWAP, which is what I like to count, because some of them they don't really get much past VWAP, so it's just not really that much range. So I won't be looking at DPLS unless it just looks absolutely amazing. If you look at here, 84 again to 92, this was a morning panic bounce play. After it failed here, it failed here, it failed here, just like best case scenario, 84 to 92, just under 10%. It's not really that nice, so I won't be looking at DPLS anymore. I did make a nice move, the rest of the day, but I won't be looking at DPLS anymore. Nor will I look at LCLP for morning panic bounce plays, unless it just looks stupid clean. If it looks like just crazy clean, I might consider LCLP and definitely not DPLS. I will be looking at, I guess, some of the NASDAQ plays to see how they do, like OGEN, right? Like if it does some kind of inverse head and shoulders potential setup, something like that, maybe. That's all I got for right now. I look forward to seeing if we have any morning panic bounce plays today. Okay, it is 10:06 a.m. and I had 2 trades. Maybe I'm up like $15, but it wasn't perfect. It was a morning panic bounce play at 9:40, and then a second one. I guess this is not really the lower low. This is like the official bottom in that sense. But anyway, I had my first entry at 9:40. That was right here, and my price was right at 199 actually, right here. Right here was my entry, 940. So right here was my entry. Yeah, 940. 940, 199, and morning panic bounce play. Nice drop, right? It was actually up on the day. It went from green on the day to downtrend. So it was a lot of range. And we had these 2 big volume candles here. I got in at 940. I've learned now that if we have like a huge volume candle, it's probably going to downtrend some more. I got in at 199 once again, but there was just too many people selling. There were too many like prints like this that were red, so I sold for a tiny profit at 942. I sold at what was this? Just 2, flat out 2, and it did save me from right here the next few minutes to just let another downtrend. I really hate when I feel like I get the bottom and I want to sell because it's just so many people selling and all of this, but I've learned now recently these things are not working as well as they used to. So 950 was right here, and that was an entry at 88, so 18.8 was right here. 950 just felt like maybe the bottom was in. It kind of had another volume candle. Again, I learned not to buy the volume candle anymore. It kind of downtrended, and I thought, okay, maybe like a higher low here. I'm in at 188, basically risking 18, or not really in this case. It was more like the wick here. I sold at 19 at 9.55. I wasn't able to get into the bounce, but all of right here, 52, 53, 54, and for a portion of 55, there were just constant green prints going through, and 19 was just sitting there at the ask with 10,000 shares. So obviously somebody was selling, or maybe even shorting with hidden size, probably just a seller or a promoter. And it was very impressive, you know. It just kept going through, and I said, okay, I'm not trying to play games here, let me take a sell. I actually got filled at 19, and it did break through. It got to 19.8, but then it turned around and now it's doing this thing. I was close to buying it here at 183, and it turns out that Timothy Sykes actually bought, you know, I think in this candle at 183. I don't know if he sold already, but I tried. I'm probably going to be less cautious, more cautious trading OTC morning panic bounce plays, because they're all trading like trash. DPLS at least did one, but nobody cares about DPLS after it has burned people so many times that, you know, there isn't going to be much people buying and selling. But it did provide a move here. I guess the big volume candle was here. Again, you never buy the big volume candle. You wait for it, because it just tells you that maybe the bottom is in soon. Consolidation candles here. Maybe it could have been at 85. Maybe a sell at VWAP at 90. That would have been cool, but yeah, I'm not going to trade it anymore because it's just been horrible. I did try to trade PBYA. Where was it? Yeah, 934 was back here because I thought it was like a morning panic bounce play at 8.8 right here, 934. I didn't get executed, and then it just spikes past VWAP, so I don't really like it when it does that. So, you know, I didn't get filled, I got out. It looks like eventually after the spaghetti monster, you know, it did have a spike here, but that's not really nice. And let's see, I did see this, it did bounce back, but it's just not much range. It wasn't very clean. LCLP, nothing here that I want to trade. RSHN turned around nicely. I wouldn't have traded this downtrend. It's not like it ran 3 days in a row. I'll be looking at listed stocks, FER, and keeps panicking. If it has something clean, I'll try it. Otherwise, I'll just let it do what it wants. I think a lot of people, at least it seems like in the chat room, are just getting burned trading these, and I think people are just going to stop looking at them. Alright, it is 10:21. Good job, promoters, for trapping a lot of people, but really it was a nice pump. It did get from what, 36 sub penny, at least 36 sub penny, to 2 pennies, almost 3 pennies. That's pretty impressive. I considered maybe one dip by here, risking off of 16. I still might consider it, but I was also considering it back at 17, but it just felt a bit sketchy, and then I felt like I was maybe at the high range of this, so from 164 to 171, and I take a buy at 17, which was the top. I didn't get to 171 until later after I canceled it. It could try to turn around here, but you know, this could be like DPLS, where it just, you know, diddle daddles, and then it has like a huge volume spike that is larger than here, just max craziness, right? And then it turns around. So I'll probably just maybe sit back and see what it does and learn from it. Really impressive stock. Honestly, considering how good these things are at dropping, I'm gonna probably be less interested in trading morning panic bounce plays, which sucks because I like trading them, but I can't trade them if the pattern isn't working. That's, you know, that has nothing to do with promoters or anything like that. That's just basic trading fundamentals. If the setup you like just is not working, it's just better to probably not look at it. I think it could try to turn around here. There's a good chance it could turn around here. Or at least if I take a trade, I can just easily risk 16-1, you know. So I might consider it. I might be too late as well. I'll just keep looking in the meantime. Okay, it is 10:45 a.m. and I didn't go over this one. I traded FERN again, and I just did not hold this one as long as I could have. I bought at 10.26. Again, what I was saying earlier, that this thing was looking like maybe it could turn around. Not so much because, oh, we hit a bottom, we could turn around, but we kind of had a little inverse head and shoulders. So we had a shoulder head and then like the baby super tiny shoulder. I bought 10.26. So it was, yeah, this green candle. 167 was right here. And I wanted it to work immediately. You know, I had this thing on a leash. If it was gonna like break 165, I was gonna maybe 164, 163, whatever the wick is here. But I wasn't trying to sell it down there because, you know, okay, I do that and I do that. Like that's half of, that's like, I don't know, what do you call it, but it's like a very, that's a lot more range than what it seems like. Anyway, so I got there at 167 and I sold. Did I sell? I didn't sell at least the next minute. 28, yeah, at 172. I sold here. I was one candle off from the tippy top, right? But that's all me. I could have done better selling here. It did offer an opportunity to turn around, and it did. I could have sold much better. Even if I sold at the same level at 172, if I were to have at least have waited for a top to form and then a downtrend and then try selling there, that would have been better. And in this case, it would have been higher than my 172 entry, but that's fine. It turned around one more time. It's not dropping that much lower. If we look here, the bottom was here, it dropped to there. Right, and then okay, maybe here, then it drops here, and then it drops here, and now we have a drop here which is smaller, and then this one is about the same, just a little wick here. This thing can do just a slow turnaround, and I might consider that, but I'll trade a small position. I did trade DPLS. I lost $2.80 because this thing excuse me, damn, voice crack. It doesn't trade with much range. I got in at 10.36 right here, right, 10.36 right before it turned around at 8.12, and I sold the next minute. I didn't want to. I wanted to just say, okay, morning panic, lower low, let's just hold this for a long time to see how this thing does. Nope, it wants to keep going down, so you know, I got out for that reason. Tiny trade. I don't regret it that much because it was a lower low. It wasn't the initial morning panic bounce play. OGEN, no inverse head and shoulders. RSHN is still uptrending, but a little sketchy looking. PBYA is uptrending here too. It did break past this 1 penny level. That's pretty impressive. Congrats to anybody or the promoters who brought it up. I don't see anything here with LCLP, NLST, inverse head and shoulders potential, I guess, but I don't like that stock too much because of its high price. I'll be watching FERN. Maybe it could do like a slow turnaround, or it might just fail like DPLS did, and this one would be more costly because it trades with more range. But that's where I'm at. Just have to really learn and try to understand how these things are trading. You know, morning panic bounce plays, I don't think they're as nice as they used to be. Maybe it's just a fluke. Probably not. I just have to really adjust. And if it seems just too hard or impossible, or it just doesn't offer that much range, then I'll look at other patterns. But I like trading morning panic bounce plays, OTCs. I like them a lot. You know, that's where I'm at the moment. It would suck, but I like trading OTCs a lot. They're very nice. Okay, it is 8:19 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm up like 24, 25 bucks. Trying my best to trade FERN with that morning panic bounce play. This is totally wrong with DPLS. It shows that I had a loss, but it wasn't. You know, I was in at you know, well, it was a loss, but it wasn't that large. I was in at 812 out of 805. Probably shouldn't have traded actually DPLS wasn't a bad attempt because it did turn around eventually. Let's get rid of extended hours. So my entry and exit was here. I've kind of learned now that if it has this kind of price action where it's all jumpy, I might as well not be in it, and a lot of these tend to break further. But it did make a bottom here ultimately, but I was going for a lower low, so here's a lower low potential, but it was down here. It did make a move in that case from 765 to 842, so I guess it wasn't horrible. That is some bad price action at the end, and then it did it here, but it wasn't as nice. FERN was just a very choppy stock. I'm gonna take back the rant I had previously with the promoters. I just need to get better at trading, honestly. You know, and I need to constantly be adapting to the setups. Tim Sykes tried this once, it didn't work out, he got out. I tried it a few times and I was profitable trying, but you know, it wasn't like a very nice spike. It never did touch VWAP. I mean, unless you count this, but it never dropped and then spiked towards VWAP. It got close here, but it never actually did it. So I just have to keep getting better. You know, I can be salty and say it's the promoters or whatever, but ultimately it's just me. I have to keep adapting and getting better. LCLP did nothing that I wanted. I learned my lesson, not trying to trade any panics with this stock that never really had 3 solid green days in a row at least. NLST, I did see one of these drops, it did come back, but it's like LWLG, just doesn't interest me because it's a high priced OTC and it's choppy, low volume. PBYA is nothing. I mean, it was a nice uptrend, but nothing that I wanted to trade. I guess I had in shoulders here. 121, I guess, yeah. RSHN is uptrending, but nothing I want to trade. And OGEN, I guess it did an inverse head and shoulder, head, shoulder from 79 to 83, almost 84. Second higher low was more profitable. It went to 86. Maybe I could have considered that, but I don't mind missing it. It also looks bad on the daily chart. So that's all I got. I don't know, dude. I seriously might just cut off the part when I was talking about promoters, but it's really just me. I have to keep getting better at these setups. I was green today. Learned to be more cautious with DPLS, and I was today, and I stayed away from LCLP. I tried FERN, and overall I did pretty well. I could have done better in some things, but overall better than I think, you know, just recently. So I think that's a good thing.